Donald Trump's efforts to steal the next election at midterms has hit a little bit of a roadblock in the form of Judge Pittman in the Western District of Texas, of all places, because he just decided that Elon Musk, who is the main reason Donald Trump even got elected the last time with his $250 million investment, may have committed voter fraud. And he just denied a motion to dismiss a lawsuit, a class action lawsuit that was brought against Elon Musk for running that $1 million a day lottery to try to get valuable voter information and convince people to vote for Donald Trump, which may have put him over the edge. Yeah. Well, he told one judge in Philadelphia back in November to avoid a case there that it wasn't a lottery at all. It was actually just they picked people on purpose and gave them $1 million. But to the plaintiff's class, the class action suit in Texas, the plaintiffs there properly alleged that they were misled, that they believed they were participating in a lottery. And that's why they gave their name, rank, serial number, email, house address, data about themselves, valuable voter data. And that was fraudulently obtained by them. So they allege in the suit, see Donald Trump trying to use fraud to win an election. And now the federal judges, even those in the Western District of Texas, are trying to pick up the pieces. Let's talk about it as Donald Trump's electoral chances in the midterms using gimmicks like paying millions of dollars to get votes seems to have hit a hard patch. I'm Michael Popok. You're on MeidasTouch Network and Legal AF. This case was filed back in November, if you can believe it, before Judge Pittman. I'm going to read to you from some aspects of the complaint, but let me just frame it for you just to remind you. And I'll even show you a clip that the judge referred to in his order in which he denied the motion to dismiss by Elon Musk and his PAC. Now, this is against Elon Musk and particularly one of his PACs. The one that offered $1 million. He said it was a random lottery. He even got up on stage and said it was a random lottery. All you got to do is sign your name and give us all this data. You know, he was paying for votes. And that was the case in Pennsylvania. There was even a criminal investigation in Pennsylvania. And the way out of that is he said, no, it wasn't a lottery at all. We picked the people on purpose that we wanted. But that screwed him now in this case in class action worth millions and millions of dollars in Texas. Let's play the clip that the judge referred to in his motion so you can remember what I'm talking about. Here's the clip.
So I have a surprise for you, which is that we're going to be awarding $1 million to randomly to people who have signed the petition every day from now until the election.
Okay, so it's a lottery. It's random. It's not. They want, and the damages that are being alleged here, in this case, will now continue through class certification, through discovery, all the way to potential trial and verdict. Is the basis of it is that the value of the voter data that he picked up by lying, this is the allegations of the complaint, lying to voters in order to get them to give him this valuable voter data that they then exploited in the Trump campaign to try to get people to vote for him or suppress the vote, either one, depending upon the voter data. That has a value, and that value is part of the measurement. And there'll be an economist and an expert who'll testify about the value of the voter data that was obtained by fraudulent means as part of this fraud. And that is so the takeaway for this particular hot take is we got a judge in the Western District of Texas. He's one of the more liberal judges, I'll be frank, even though he sits under the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, which is a very conservative, leaning all the way to the right appellate court. Judge Pittman's a good judge to have drawn here. I'm sure that's why they filed it in the Western District of Texas. There's an Arizona plaintiff named McCafferty. So the case is McCafferty versus Musk and his PAC. And this class action is not only about the money and the millions of dollars they're seeking from Elon Musk on behalf of the class, but also to draw a line in the sand and say voter fraud, which Donald Trump spends an inordinate amount of time talking about to gaslight us that there was voter fraud committed by Democrats. You know, he's in the midst of attacking mail-in ballots. We need to eliminate mail-in ballots. By the way, Donald Trump, almost every year of his adult life, voted by absentee or mail-in ballot. But now, because the Democrats usually have an overwhelming advantage and they have a very organized campaign and strategy to make sure our voters register to vote and vote the way they want. Mail in. My mother was on a wheelchair for the last 10 years of her life. She had to do mail-in ballots. We're going to get rid of mail-in ballots. So all of the people that can't stand online for hours on end, can't roll themselves out of their assisted living facility, their nursing home, are denied the right to vote because Donald Trump doesn't like mail-in ballots. Let me remind people, as we're talking about this class action lawsuit, every reasonable, legitimate organization that's looked at voter data and fraud has said that at most it is 0.001% fraud. There's always fraud. Somebody's always voting somebody's ballot who died, or when they moved, they vote in the wrong jurisdiction, or they vote twice by accident or on purpose. That always happens. Or maybe an immigrant who doesn't quite have his citizenship yet, is only on a green card, he votes. All right, I get it. But it's 0.001%. And I know that because of every major organization, including those affiliated with the executive branch before Trump took over, have said that. So it's not outcome determinative fraud. And that's the point. It won't change the outcome of an election. You know, one or two fraudulent ballots against millions cast. Get it? So, but Donald Trump uses the fraud of voter fraud in order to try to crush dissent and suppress the vote and come up, we need new rules. We need no mail-in ballots. We have to stomp out fraud. There's no fraud. And all it's going to do is deny people the ability to cast a ballot in this country. While he's doing that over here, he's using people like Elon Musk, and don't be shocked, he's still close with Musk. He's using people like Elon Musk to try to tip the scales in his favor, right? And tip the playing field in his favor for the upcoming midterm elections. And that's why the lawsuits, like I'm describing here, the class action lawsuit brought in front of Judge Pittman, are so important because of all the dirty tricks that Trump and Musk are willing to do unless they're stopped or brought to justice. Here's what the judge says in the order on the motion to dismiss. It says, plaintiff brings this putative class action to challenge the actions of defendants in the lead up to the 2024 election. Musk founded America PAC, an independent expenditure-only PAC, in order to, according to its website, if you signed the petition about the First and Second Amendment guarantees freedom of speech and the right to bear arms by signing below, I support the First and Second Amendment, then the petition required everybody that went to this website to input their first and last name, email, mailing address, and phone number and click sign the petition. Under the cell phone number, it says, will be used to confirm you as the legitimate petition signer and no other purpose. But we know that didn't happen. The allegations of the complaint are they used all this information, they mined all this information in order to turn votes for Trump. They offered to pay people $47 for every vote, paying for votes. And then on an October 19th, 2024 town hall that I just showed you the clip from, Musk announced another effort to promote the petition. You saw what he said. I'll be awarding $1 million randomly to people who have signed the petition. He didn't care about signing the petition. He cared about collecting all the data and mining all the data. He's all about the data. But then the judge says in page 4, in October 2024, the district attorney of Philadelphia filed a civil suit on behalf of Pennsylvania for running an illegal lottery. And in that testimony, the person that was put up for the America PAC, Chris Young, the director and treasurer for Musk, he conceded and testified under oath that the people were not selected randomly for the $1 million, but that they just found people who signed the petition he thought would be a good fit as a spokesperson and signed them to a contract for the $1 million. Another lie. So now you see the reason, frankly, why Musk is in so much trouble and Trump is in so much trouble as they conspire, frankly, to try to steal the next election, which we cannot allow them to do come the midterm. So I'm going to continue to follow it all right here on the MeidasTouch Network and on Legal AF. Slide over to Legal AF YouTube, hit the free subscribe button as well. And I got great news. We've got a growing, we've got about 80,000 subscribers on Legal AF Substack. What a community there. We're doing 2 live reports at the minute, at the moment, over on Legal AF Substack. Join us there. Think about becoming a paid member. That's one way to really support all that we do and all the contributors and all the content and all the commentary on Legal AF. So until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.